everyone. Welcome to my weekly messages on Jalailah Star. Today the topic is, I'm looking over here at my screen, harnessing abundance. I know I talk a lot about this subject, but I think with everything that we're going through right now and so many of us being hit with these monumental lessons where, we just hit financial, not just financial walls, but financial mountains. And it's like we're like a mosquito that just kind of smacks against it, and it's forcing us to change old family patterns of how we look at money and how we manifest and how we use our power. So I've been working with this myself a lot lately, and it's every time I have a breakthrough, I get so excited and I want to share it. And the big thing I've been working on lately is this pattern of worry, because I come from a family, the long line of chronic worriers. My father was he was such a worrier. And, he had a lot of anxiety, and I see it in my family. And I used to not be that way, but as I got older and really very painful things happened to me, I noticed myself starting to take on some of that. It was harder and harder to get back into that glass half full mentality. So I just had this big breakthrough, and I wanted to share it with you, some tips that I've learned about harnessing abundance. And what I mean by abundance is abundance in all forms, whether it's financial or health or good relationships, great opportunities. All these to me are a form of abundance. Okay, so here's the tips. I'm going to read them here from the screen. Wait a minute, I got to move that. Okay, you ready? All right. First one. All right. If you think it, you'll create it. Now, we hear that over and over again. We create our reality. But, I'm one of those people, I need to know the nuts and the bolts. I need to understand why that works. Why does that happen? How does that happen? So, what I did was I did this. So, okay, let me back up. So, that's so important these days. And here's the reason why. We are now living a 24-hour day in 16 hours. Actually, because of the human resonance, which is the heartbeat of the planet, has increased. It's actually less than 16 hours now. And that's why one of the things that create this emotional overload and why so many people are under stress right now. And you see so many people with depression and, the pharmaceutical companies are raking it in right now. It's because we are so emotionally stressed. Our parasympathetic nervous systems, which control the fight or flight response, are just working overtime. So whatever we think, let's get back to the 36-hour rule, if you will. Whatever you think, whatever you create is going to come back in about 36 hours, in many cases less. So whatever you're thinking and feeling, because a thought charged by a feeling is much more powerful in drawing from the morphogenetic field than just a thought. Because all thoughts, all feelings are electromagnetic, but emotion charges it. It's like it puts a charge on it. It's like charging water, charging a battery. It just draws faster. So whatever you think or feel is going to come back in about 36 hours. Check it out. Give it test it. I've tested it numerous times, and that's true. So if what I'm going to think or feel comes back in 36 hours or less, I'm learning to be very conscious about what's going on in here. The guides used to say to me during training, in my initial training, they said, what goes on in your inner world is more important than what goes on in your outer world, because what happens in your outer world is a result of what you were thinking days, weeks before. Now, this was 20 years ago, so days are, weeks and months, that would make sense, because the lag between cause and effect was longer. But now it's been shortened because the frequency of the planet is rising down to 36 hours or less. So it's forcing us to do what we need to be doing anyway, which is becoming our own shamans, always being aware of what's going on inside of here, because this is creating all of this. Okay, so the next one is going back to being a warrior. As I've gotten older, like I said, I started to pick up on that family pattern of high anxiety. And I think it's because I had some PST after, my brother's passing. And even though I'm through a lot of it, there's been several deaths since then in the family. So it's like you take 5 steps forward and you take 2 steps back. You're going like this all the time. So you're always in the healing process. So it's easier now than when I was in my 30s to knock me off center. So I've had to develop a go-to plan. So here's my go-to plan, and what works for you might be different. I'll just share mine with you. Is when I'm feeling down, because I got to be careful about what's going on up here. When I notice myself in an emotional downward spiral, there are 3 things I do. Number 1, I have this happy music playlist, and I'll pull that out. I'll put my earbuds in, and I'll listen to it on my iPhone. So those particular songs help to lift my spirits. Okay, but it doesn't always work because of something that's going on, and I'm just still struggling. My head knows what to do, but I can't get my emotions in alignment with what I'm thinking. So the next thing I'll do is I'll get out of the house and I'll go to one of my favorite parks where there's like playgrounds and stuff, and I'll watch kids play because they're so joyous and they're so free, and it kind of helps my inner child to be in that free space. And I'll go walk because I love to walk. And on sunny days, being in the sunshine really helps. So taking my happy playlist with me, going to walk at one of my favorite parks, and I'm fortunate to live in an area with lots of beautiful parks. Those 2, you can usually lift me out of my spirits. But once in a while, when I'm really still stuck, maybe there was a big emotional hit that I took. I'll do the 3rd thing, is I have a handful of friends that I can call who know what I struggle with, and I know what they struggle with. So I'm like, you know what? Need a little help here today. I'm really struggling. So I will call one of them. So those 3 have sometimes I have to do all 3 of them. They will work for me. So whatever your go-to plan is that works for you, you just always have it. It's part of your coping skills. Okay, so that's the other thing. And finally, let me get down here to the last thing, because I've already written the article part of this weekly message, is to remember that when you're dealing with this and you're trying to shift a negative experience, you splat against the mountain, okay, of financial adversity or a health issue, whatever, gratitude. I have tested this out. Out of all the positive emotions or feelings, gratitude is the strongest magnetizer. And what that means is that it pulls from the morphogenetic field faster and with greater results. Instead of getting $10, you get $100, okay, because of gratitude. So one thing I've done lately is I really wanted to test that out to see how well that works. So back in December, I did 30 days of gratitude. And there's something about posting it on Facebook, putting it in writing and sending it out there into the internet, into the field, that seems to create even better results. So I did that for 30 days, and I did an article, a weekly message a while back, I think it was in January, where I share with you the result of it, and it was amazing. So then I started another one 30 days ago, which I just finished. Actually, it's been 32 days. And again, amazing results. But the things that I find that are really helpful for me is how well it pulls financially. Gratitude pulls financially. What I saw was an upswing in my business. I saw financial windfalls both times, an upswing in the business both times. And I had not done anything different than what I normally do. So gratitude, make it the number one thing that you work on. Do a 30-day, gratitude challenge. It's just amazing how it works. So those are my tips for harnessing abundance, and I hope they will help you. If you have any questions or if you feel like you need to go further with this, I still offer counseling sessions. I will always do that. You know, once a counselor, always a counselor. That's the way it goes. Anyway, take care. Have a great week, and I will talk to you later.